Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be seeing what I eat in a day. So usually when I'm staying alone, I used to prepare meals which are easy and quick to make. But when my dad visits me, he comes here to stay with me like for a few days of the week. And during those times, I really bug him to make all the dishes that I have been craving for. And today we are going to be making Idli Sambar. I have been craving for some. So Idli Sambar is different when compared to the normal sambar that we make. But the irony is that when I was shooting this video, I didn't have an idli pot. So I had to make dosas with the Idli Sambar. So my dad is preparing for that. So usually we need to add tur dal and moong dal for this. We need to add 2 tomatoes, it depends on your preference, and a pinch of turmeric and some curry leaves. If you want, you can also add in few drops of oil. Now Idli Sambar is for breakfast, and for lunch my dad is preparing these raw bananas, so he's slicing them into small dices. And now it's time to prepare the masala for Idli Sambar. So you can add the chilies as per your preference, like 3, 4 or even 7 if you prefer it to be very spicy. Then 2 to 3 tablespoons of coriander and 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of chana dal and half or 1 small tablespoon of cumin seeds and peppercorns, and then half tablespoon of fenugreek. Now as you can see, he's not measuring anything and adding, because he has experience of cooking for so many years. So now we are going to prepare the tadka for this raw banana fry. Just oil, some urad dal and mustard seeds. Now adding in the raw bananas with some pepper and turmeric and some red chili powder. This is pretty easy to make. Just add in some salt, and if you need that tangy flavor, you can also add some tomato sauce, and then just fry it. That's all with the recipe. Now coming to this is a recipe, we call it as Kootu in our Tamil Nadu. So what we do is just have bowl of moong dal, boil it and finely chop any piece of vegetable that you want to add to it. So add the vegetable, add salt and add green chilies. So basically moong dal, any vegetable that you want to add, and then some salt and turmeric powder and green chilies. That's it. This is a quicker way of making this, but there are multiple ways of making this particular recipe. Now my dad is chopping the vegetables, which is going to go in for the Idli Sambar. So for this Kootu, you can also add the onions on top of it if you like the flavor of it. It completely is your preference, but you can totally skip this step also. Now we have fried the mixture, right? Coriander, cumin seeds and fenugreek and all those red chili mixture for the Idli Sambar recipe. So once the recipe is dried and everything, we can go ahead and just grind it into a coarse powder. And we need to add that powder in the sambar. So but before doing that, we are preparing the tadka, which is going to go for this Kootu that I was telling. So this tadka, you can add cumin seeds, mustard seeds. I basically don't add cumin seeds. We prefer urad dal and mustard seeds. So we just add that. So now for the sambar, we are adding some salt, some mustard seeds, small onions. So usually for idli sambar, we prefer adding small onions, that elevates the taste, and add finely chopped any vegetables of your preference. Usually brinjal and carrot is added. You can also add beans or any vegetables. Now in the cooker we had the dal mixture, right? So just smash it once again before you can add it into the pot. So once this is done, we need to add the tamarind mixture. So the tamarind water, what you can do is just a small piece of tamarind, you can soak it in water for a few minutes, grind it, and then just squeeze it and get the water out of it. Add the tamarind water, and then goes the dal mixture that we have just boiled. After that, we can add the sambar powder, some asafoetida and coriander, and if you want to add salt according to that, you will add it. So this is the recipe of Idli Sambar. Now that is done, and like I told, I didn't have idli pots when I was making this video. So that day I'm going to just make, actually my dad is only making that also, preparing dosas, and we are going to have it. So for lunch today we have Kootu and raw banana fry, idli sambar and dosa. for breakfast. Now I'm going to enjoy my breakfast, but when I'm going to get time, I have asked my dad to prepare puliodarai paste also. So like I told, it's a very instant mix. Like, if you have it, you can prepare your lunch very quickly. All you have to do is just boil some cup of rice. That's it. So this is what we had for lunch that day. We also had rasam that was not prepared on that day. We had leftover rasam, so I just used that. And with curd, you have a full meal in just few minutes. So now let's quickly prepare masala puri. This is the snacks at evening time. So we can also call it kara puri. So adding some little just few tablespoons of oil, mustard seeds, urad dal, and some just smashed up garlic, curry leaves, 2 or 3 red chili depending on your spice level, and 3 tablespoons of roasted Bengal gram and roasted peanuts. So once all this is just getting fried, you can add a pinch of turmeric powder and chili powder. Very little chili powder because you have already added red chilies there. So very little chili powder, and I just like getting color to my food, so I was adding Kashmiri chili. You can avoid that step, and adding the puffed rice to this recipe. Then just sprinkle some salt over it. If you want, you can also sprinkle some sugar, but I don't do that. That's it. Your recipe is done. You just have to give it a very good mix, and all set. You can enjoy it with a cup of tea. This is a very simple, quick snack recipe that we can make in instant, and you don't need to add a lot of oil, or nothing is fried here, so it's all fine and healthy. So now, like I told, we are going to be preparing some puliodarai paste. So for that, we are just adding sesame oil and roasting the groundnuts, because groundnut is a very important ingredient for this particular recipe. So let's just fry this particular groundnut and keep it aside. Now once that is set, we are going to dry roast all the spices. So like chana dal, again the quantity can differ from 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. It depends on the quantity that you need. So here on that day, we are just preparing so we can make 2 or 3 times we can mix the rice. So after adding chana dal, once that is getting roasted slowly, you can add 2 tablespoons of urad dal and half tablespoon of fenugreek seeds. So we just have to mix it all together. So chana dal and urad dal equal quantities, and fenugreek just half or 1/4 of the tablespoon. And peppercorns is a natural, instead of adding a lot of red chilies, you can add peppercorns to it, which gives the spice level, increasing the spice level. So that is also added. So here we are adding about 1 tablespoon of peppercorns. Once you're dry roasting all these things, you just have to dry it, and then you can grind it in the mixer. So we are adding 3 tablespoons of coriander. So basically chana dal, urad dal, fenugreek, peppercorns, red chilies. Red chilies will be added later, and some coriander seeds. That's what we have added so far. After roasting it, adding some black sesame seeds also enhances the flavor. So we are adding about 2 small tablespoons of sesame seeds and 7 to 9 or 10 red chilies. Now this again depends on the spice level that you would personally prefer. Now after all these things, once it is added, now let's start preparing the paste itself. And this particular recipe, because we can store this recipe for quite some time and have it, we need to add a lot of sesame oil into this recipe. Once that is added, we can add all the tadka things like mustard seeds, urad dal, chana dal. And chana dal, how much ever you will prefer. If you like having more chana dal in your food, you can add that accordingly. So after adding all these things, just adding a pinch of asafoetida, curry leaves, small just a pinch of fenugreek seeds also, curry leaf, red chili, all these things are added, and just giving it a good mix. Once it is fried well, we can add the fried groundnuts. Now the groundnut should fry well in this oil. That is what will give you the taste when you're actually having the food. Now once this is also fried properly, we can add in about half a spoon of turmeric powder, some salt. You can add the salt taste, like check the taste after some time, and then you can increase the salt if you want, because you're basically going to add this in rice and eat, so you can add a little bit extra salt to this. After adding few pinches of asafoetida, just mix it well. And the very important step here is having a big, lemon size of tamarind, soaking it in water, squeezing the water out and adding the tamarind here. Now because it is a tamarind paste, here you can't add tamarind, just an amla size tamarind can't be added. You need to add at least a half lemon size or full lemon size. Small lemon sized tamarind you can keep. Add boiling water or normal water, keep it for a few minutes, squeeze the paste out of it and add the water. And the mixture that we just prepared with all the seeds and dry roasted, right? So you're going to add that masala onto it. So after adding all these things, the quantity should be reduced at least to half of it. So the water should start boiling and the quantity, now you can see the difference, right? Now just boil some hot rice and add some sesame oil to it, and this mixture, you're going to love this. It's a very simple and quick recipe. Now once this is made, you can use this mixture for few days at least. Now on that particular day, we ordered our dinner from a nearby restaurant. And that's it for the video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you would like more such videos, please do let me know and subscribe to my channel.